Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to do motion matching for Metahumans. To begin with, we're going to create a third-person project in Unreal Engine 5.4, so you can call it whatever you want. You do not need starter content or ray tracing for this project. Right, so once you're in your project, in your third-person template, we do need some new plugins. So we're going to go to Edit, and we're going to go to Plugins here. And there's two plugins you need to add for motion matching. One of them is called Closed Search. So you can look for that, enable it. It's going to ask you to restart, but we're going to wait until we activate the other one, which is called Trajectory. So motion trajectory, you can see it's an experimental, but that's okay. So you're going to hit that. It's going to say, are you sure you want to enable the plugin, even though it's an experimental? I'm going to click yes here. And then I'm going to not restart yet. What I want to do here is I want to also add my Metahuman. So you can go into add, go into a Quixel content, and you can add whatever Metahuman you want for your project. I'm going to go to my Metahumans right here, and I have two pre-downloaded ones, and I'm going to choose one of them here. So I'm going to choose Christopher this time for a change of scenery. And once you have downloaded it, you'll have to first download. Your icon's going to be like this, but once it's downloaded, you can add it to your project. Now, once your Metahuman is added to your project, you can see the folder here. You may want to open the blueprint, and Unreal Engine will tell you if the plugins for the Metahumans are missing and you want to enable them. So you can go ahead and enable all of the different plugins. Okay, so as you can see, it opened my Metahuman here. I can go ahead and put it in my main window. If you wanted to always go to your main window, you can go to Edit, Editor Preferences, and over here under General Appearance, if you scroll all the way down, there is a Asset Editor Open location. So as you can see, it's in default right now, and you can make it change to always open in the main window. And you can go ahead and close that. So with that done, our base project is almost ready. We just need animations for our Metahuman. So we're going to go ahead and close our project. All right, the next step is you want to go to the Epic launcher, and you want to go into Marketplace, and you want to search for the Lyra project. The Lyra project has a bunch of animations that we can use for motion matching. They are going to release, they did say they're going to release an animation pack for the mannequin at some point, but it doesn't look like it's here yet, so we can just use the Lyra project. So as you can see, I've already downloaded it, but if you haven't, you can just click on it and you can hit create project, and it'll create a project from the Lyra project. Once you do that, you can actually just open the project. All right, so as you can see, we're in the Lyra project right now. And the whole reason we're actually using the Lyra project is just because we want the animations. So I just wanted to show you a neat trick. So we're looking for the animations here, and we don't know exactly which folder they're in. So we can just click on content, and we can use this filter icon here. And we want to tell it that we want to actually look for animation sequences. So if we click on it right here, it'll show us all the animation sequences. And if we hover over them, it'll tell us where the location is. And as you can see, it's under Mani. This specific one is under Mani, but the ones that we're specifically looking for are the ones specific to Lyra, which is these ones right here. And you can see they're under Heroes, Mannequin, Animations, Locomotion. So it's just a neat trick you can use here. So we're going to go into Characters, and we're going to remove the filter for 1 second. And we're going to Heroes, Mannequin, and Animations. And what we really care about right now is just the locomotion animations, so just the movements. And for the movements, they have a bunch of different ones with the rifle, pistol in hand, and shotgun. For now, just since I want to show you how basics of motion matching work, we're just going to go with the unarmed movement. And we don't really need the animation blueprints or anything like that. We really care about just the animation sequences. So again, we're going to use this filter. And I mainly want to do the male mannequin right now. So depending on what you want to do, you can make a decision. So I'm going to just grab all the animations with the MM in front of it. So it starts from here, and I'm going to grab it all the way to here. You could also grab all of them if you want. So once you choose all of them, I did so by shift clicking. You can right click and go into asset actions, and there's an option to migrate. And what migrate does is it moves a bunch of assets from one project to another. So we're going to hit migrate here. And it's going to choose all the different files associated with the animations. Some of them we really don't need at all, but I'm not going to go into details of which ones to exclude and include. You can just include everything for now, because I don't want to waste you guys' time. So once you hit migrate, you're going to have to choose where you want to migrate to. So you're going to go into your Metahuman project that you created, and you need to make sure you choose the content folder for your project. That's just a requirement. And you're going to hit select folder, and it'll migrate everything for you. So once that is done, all the animations are moved to your new project. You can go ahead and close your Lyra project and open up the Metahuman project again. All right, we're back inside our Metahuman project, and we can see that under our content folder, there's now a characters folder, and underneath you'll see all the different animations that we migrated over. So I'm going to remove this filter for now. And now that we have the animations, we can go ahead and start with the motion matching. So the first thing we need to do is we need to migrate all of the animations from the mannequin to the Metahuman. I did show you this, how to do this in another video, but we're going to go ahead and do it again here. But I'm not going to explain as much. So I'm going to go into locomotion unarmed, and I'm going to filter by animation, animation sequence. And I'm going to go ahead and choose everything. I'm going to hit Control A here, and it's going to choose all the animations here. And I'm going to right click, go to migrate retarget animations, and it's going to open a new window where we can actually retarget our animation. The source skeletal mesh is SKM many, and the target skeletal mesh in my case is the medium male. So it's this one right here, medium normal weight body. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this, and I'll show you how you can figure this out in a second of what the skeleton of your Metahuman is. But once you choose that, you can actually choose the animations you want to retarget. So as we said before, we want to target the animations that were from Lyra. So I'm going to choose all of them right here, and I'm going to hit export animations. I'm going to go into my Metahuman folder, go under Christopher, and I'm going to create a new folder here, and I'm going to call it animations, just to keep things neat. And I'm going to choose this folder here, and I'm going to hit export, and I'm going to hit export again. And just like that, UE 5.4 retargets all your animations for you, which is quite neat. Now, I did tell you I want to show you how you can find out what the skeleton of your Metahuman is. So if you go into your Metahuman folder and you open the blueprint for your Metahuman, if you click on the body and you scroll down under mesh, you'll see your skeletal mesh asset, and here you'll see the name of the skeletal mesh for your Metahuman. All right. So once you do that, you are all ready to actually get started. So we're going to right click here in the Metahuman main folder. You don't have to do it here. So it's just something I'm doing. I'm going to hit right click, go into animations, and you should see the motion matching option here. If you're not seeing it, look at the start of the video. You need to make sure you're enabling the plugins. So the first thing you need to create is a post search schema. And it's going to ask you for the skeleton. You can choose the Metahuman base skeleton here. This is the base skeleton for all Metahumans. So you're going to choose that, and you can name it whatever you want. So I'm going to call it PSS, short for post search schema. And I'm going to put MH for Metahuman. You don't need to actually do any changes for this. This has a few options. I haven't really looked into what exactly they do and everything like that, but perhaps in a future video. But for now, we need to create the schema because it's required for the next step. So the next step is to create a database of animations that our motion matching is going to use. So we're going to go into animation, and then again motion matching, and then choose the post search database. And you'll see as soon as you hit post search database, it asks for a schema. That's why we had to create it in the previous step. So we're going to choose that, and we have to call this again. So post search database, so it's PSD, And again, we are going to name it PSD Christopher. Okay, so once this is one of the main assets that we need to take care of. This is all the different animations that the motion matching algorithm is going to use. And the way it works is that it kind of estimates the trajectory of a character's movement, and based on how the character is moving and in which direction the character is moving, it chooses an animation that's in this database. So we need to put all the different animations we want to take care of here. Right, so now we need to add the animations we need for PSD Christopher. And one quick thing I do want to show you is if you scroll down in the database details, you can see the preview mesh, and you can choose the preview mesh that you want for your animations. So you can make sure that you choose the body preview of whatever skeleton you're using for your Metahuman. So I'm going to choose the body preview for my Metahuman, and then I'm going to open my content drawer, and I'm going to add. You want to make sure that when you're choosing your animation, you go under Metahumans, go to where you actually saved your retargeted animations. This is very important. And in our case, I want the jog animations and the idle animations. So I'm going to search for jog, and I'm going to choose all the different animations I have for jogs. And I'm going to put it here. And if you've done it correctly, if you click on one of the animations, it'll show the Metahuman jogging. So I can choose all of them actually, and you can see the chaos that on Rails. And the other animation I do make sure I want to add is the idle animation. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna add one of the idle animations. I don't want all of them because I don't want it to juggle between all the different ones. Because the way it works is it chooses an animation based on how your character is moving. So once you do that, you hit save and you can move along. Now what we want to do is we want to actually add our Metahuman into the world and be able to move it and have the motion matching work for it. So the first step in order to do that is we need to replace the third person, the BP third person template when we hit play right. We can ignore this for now. I'll show you how to fix this in a second. But when we hit play right now, we have the mannequin as the main player. So the first thing we need to do is change that. So we're gonna open the BP Christopher, and we're gonna also go into, we're gonna close everything down, open content, and go into third person, blueprints, and BP third person, and we're gonna duplicate this, and we're gonna call this MH character. And it's a good idea to always duplicate, so in case you mess something up, you still have the main one, which you can use as reference. So we're going to open BP MH character, and we want to have our Metahuman here. So as you can see, the Metahuman structure is a bit different than the third person template. So I'm going to bring it all the way here so I can show you guys this. So in the Metahuman, we don't just have one skeletal mesh, right? We have the body, feet, legs, torso, and face. And the face comes with a bunch of other stuff and also an LOD synchronizer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy the LOD sync, and we're going to bring it here, and we're going to copy it and paste it under this, and it's going to add it here. Now, a cool thing I've seen people ask around about Metahumans is that they don't like it when the beard disappears and the beard and the hair details. And the way you can fix that is in the LOD sync, you can force it to show it. So this makes it so that depending on the distance, it shows or it doesn't show the amount of detail. But if you change it to 1, for example, then you won't have that issue. So you can see the beard is still there when I move it back and forth. Right, so the next step we want to do is we want to copy everything here under the body into the MH characters. So you're going to have to choose all of them. You can't just choose the top part. You have to choose everything here, and you're going to hit copy. Under Metahuman character, we can stick it under the capsule component, and you should have all now you have 2 skeletal meshes. You have the main mesh here and the skeletal mesh. You may want to say, oh, can we just delete this? But it's part of the character class, so you can't really delete that one. I'll show you how to work around that in a second. So I'm going to rename this skeletal mesh to body, just like it is in the Metahuman. And then what we want to do here is we want to make sure that the Metahuman is in the same direction as the third person. So this step is important, that we look at the character here and we look at its transform, and we can see it's in minus 89 and 270. So you want to have the same exact attributes here. And the reason for that is that the whole movement that is coded for the third person template is based on the character being oriented in this way. So if you make this negative 90 instead of 270, it won't work. I just wanted to make sure that you understand that, because it changes the axis the way if you rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise. So once you do that and you have everything set up, you can move the body under the mesh. So you can click, drag it under the actual mesh here. And then you can choose the mesh here, and we don't want to have the skeletal mesh showing. So we're going to click on this and hit clear. And we're going to also remove this animation blueprint, and we're going to hit none here. So now we're going to hit compile and save. And once you do that, if you hit, we want to change the main player from BP third person to this blueprint that we created. So if we hit on this game mode here, BP third person game mode, we can change the main pawn, so default pawn class, from BP third person character to our metahuman character. So this step has nothing to do really with motion matching, but I know this is difficult for a lot of people to do, so I kind of wanted to show it. So if I hit play right now, I should see my metahuman character, and I should be able to move it around and jump and everything like that. So right now we have no animations, of course, but that's the whole point. We're going to try to fix that with motion matching. All right, so now that we're set up, we're going to close this blueprint Christopher. We don't need it anymore. We're going to close our game mode. We don't need that anymore. So we just need our metahuman character. So we need a way to tell the database that our character is moving and in which direction it's moving. So in order to do that, you need to hit on add, and there's a trajectory, character trajectory. If you don't see this, that means you didn't enable the plugin motion trajectory plugin that we did at the start. So we hit that, we add it. We don't really need to change the name. So now that's added, we can actually use this to tell the database which way our character is moving. The way we do that is through a animation blueprint. So let's get to do it. Let's do that step. So we're going to go into our Metahumans folder, and you don't have to put it here, but this is what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to right click, go to animation, and I'm going to create an animation blueprint. And it's going to ask for the base skeleton. Again, you can choose the Metahuman base skeleton here, and you're going to hit create, and I'm going to call it ABP Christopher. And we're going to go ahead and open this. And now, right now, you can see we're not doing anything. And we want to use motion matching. So previously, when you wanted to do animations, you had to create a state machine. It was pretty involved if you wanted to do all the different movements and everything like that. But now we're going to use motion matching. And in order to do motion matching, we need two nodes. One is called the motion matching node. No surprise. What this node does is it just takes in the database for the animations, and we created one, right? So PSD Christopher is the database, but we also need to let it know which way our character is moving. What is the motion trajectory for our character? And in order to do that, we actually search for pose history, and you'll see it under pose search. So you're going to choose pose history, and you can see the pose history takes in a trajectory, and then it takes in a pose, a trajectory, and it results in another pose. So we're going to drag and drop into the output pose, and we're going to drag this one into the database. So it's going to say, so what these two are doing is saying it takes the trajectory and the database and see which animation you need to play, and then play that animation. So right now, if I hit compile, nothing much happens because the character doesn't know what the trajectory is. So we need to fix that one. So in order to get the trajectory of the character, we need to go into the event graph here of the animation blueprint. And what we need to do is essentially we need to grab this character, grab its character trajectory, and feed it into the node that we created. And we need to do that every frame, right? Because the character is moving all the time. So we're not doing this once. We need this to happen every frame. So in order to do that, we use an event here, and I'm going to show you. So we need to first grab our character, and the way you do that is search for event initialize. So as soon as our animation is initialized, we want to grab our character. And so here's how you grab your character. Unreal already gives you this node, but we want it to be the blueprint MH character. And the way you do that is you can do cast BP MH character, or whatever you named your blueprint. So we do that and we make it a variable so we can always access it. So we grab it and we say promote to variable, and you can give it whatever name you want. I'm just going to make it MH character. Okay, so once we do that, we can come inside here. And what did we want to do? We wanted every frame, we wanted to grab the trajectory of the character. So the way we do that is we grab the variable that we just created. So we grab our character, and what you can do is you can right click on it and make this a validated get. What this does is it makes sure that this character exists in our world before it tries to access it, right? Because it takes when you hit play, it takes a little bit of time for it to actually get created into the world. And since this is so fast and it's happening every frame, it may be that this character is not created yet. So what this does is make sure that that character is created. So what we want to do here is we want to get the trajectory. And what this does is it grabs the trajectory that we created here. And you can see this trajectory in the details. There's a bunch of different stuff that it has, but what we really care about is just the trajectory at this point. So what we want to do here is we want to say, I want the actual trajectory. I don't want anything else. And once we do that, we can promote this to a variable that we can use in the, because we want to save it, right? Wherever the character is moving, we want to know exactly at each point. So I'm going to call this MH trajectory, and we're going to set that. So every frame, we're going to grab the trajectory and we're going to set it here. So I'm going to hit compile and save. And then if we go back to our anim graph right here, so instead of the pose, we don't have anything here, we can just grab our metahuman trajectory, put it here. And let me see if I can grab it. Yep, there we go. So now if I hit compile, so as you can see right now, we plugged in the trajectory, the motion matching, and the pose history. And right now we can see our character's animation is in idle state because, well, our character is not moving. So once we do that, we hit save, and now our animation blueprint is ready. So now we are almost done. So if you go into your BPMH character, you can now set the animation blueprint for the body here. And it's going to ask use animation blueprint. And we're going to choose our ABP Christopher, which is the one I just created. So if this happens for you where your body is in using an animation and your clothes are not, what you want to do is choose your torso, legs, and feet, and also choose the animation blueprint ABP Christopher or whatever you called yours, and that should fix it. All right, so we're going to hit compile, we're going to hit save, and now we're going to hit play. And you can see our character is in idle state, and now I can move forward, and it's in the running animation. I can run backwards, right, left. And what I can do is, in order for it to do the strafe animations, we need to not have it not turn towards the way it's moving. So the way you can do that is, and we'll fix this errors in a second. The way you can do that is you can go into your BP main character and go into character movement and go ahead and search for orient rotation to movement, and you can disable that and hit compile and save. And then when you play this time, when you move right, you'll see it do the strafe right animation, jog left, jog right, forward, and backwards. You can also jump, and it does a short jump animation, but you can change the amount you jump as well, so the animation plays better. And I also didn't add the jump animations into the database, but you can add all of those if you want. Now let's go ahead and fix this error, and I wanted to show you this so you can get an idea of why we use a validated get. So right now it's saying that whenever it's trying to access the MH trajectory variable, it's not set yet, it's null. So that's why we use the validated get. So if we go back into animation blueprint, go into the event graph, it's saying that it doesn't know if this is valid or not. So what we can do here is we can do a validated get, and only if the character trajectory is set is when we want to set the variable. So if we hit compile here and hit save, and we do that again, and we hit escape, we won't get that error anymore. And just like that, you have your Metahuman using motion matching. You can go ahead and add jumping animations if you want as well, and also running diagonally. But pretty cool, huh? All right. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments. Peace.